Hey.
Hello.
Hey, okay. Where were we? We were about to finish our negotiation, I believe. Okay, so we need to start ratifying the deal and stuff. So the first one is pretty general. You could propose new, more specific ones for a couple different locations or something, and so they're a little easier to complete. Or you could just pile into this and do what you can and try to find out the information. You could also get things like certain privileges and stuff. Like proper bounty hunter privileges so that you can legally collect people.
That.
Seems important.
Okay. So, first things first.
Supposed to be capturing people, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta... Okay, so... Obligation... Okay, give me a sec. I'm just having a hard time finding stuff. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the offer... Where is it? Okay, I gotta make this really obvious then, which ones you gotta do. Okay, so you don't have to put a reserve on any obligations, but you want to get you want a new privilege. That's going to cost you a little bit. It requires 1 point of Okay, so this is going to cost you 25 RV.
Dang.
Just for this. Just for all port access across, because you only really have access to the top port right now, because that's your home base.
I thought that was already in it, though, right? Access to all ports? Oh, that's going to cost us.
That's what it costs you. I didn't put that in.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Gotcha.
that. Okay.
Yeah, so when we talk about it costing us that much, is that in determining how many privileges and things we can take, or is this directly coming out of the final payout?
That's money.
Okay.
That is money.
So the idea is to get as much of the job completed with as few resources, because that's what our take-home pay is.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
So we could just go capture them without the proper paperwork and try to get away with it.
Yes.
To earn more money. Okay.
Yes, you could.
I like the way you think, Captain. You're naughty, Captain.
I mean, the authorities are going to be a bit busy at the moment.
They can't even
I
move
think they're
around.
going to be cracking down on uncredentialed bounty hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because don't they know? Aren't we usually like scouts? They
As
want
far
us.
as they know.
Yeah, I mean that'll be part of my negotiating. You know, look, this isn't what we signed up for.
250 RV. Good night.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
pricey.
expensive. I don't like that. Nope, too much.
I mean, we could not get the permit and then just risk
Yeah, that's what
operating
that's
without
what
a
I'm saying.
permit. Like, what's the punishment for that? It can't be as much as 250 RV, really.
Well, we can't collect on a bounty if we don't have a permit, right? I assume.
Well, you can
I know
collect on a
that.
bounty. Yes.
Yeah, you could retroactively get us a permit.
After we get paid.
Okay, so at this location, the space station, at the top of this, you have a dry dock access. You have access to the space station. You have a certain amount of home port credits. You have 2 each, I believe. Or you have the 1 die. Sorry,
No, I spent
changed the
I
stuff.
spent it all on beer, I think.
It's one of your associations called home local credits.
Local credits, yeah.
Okay,
Ugh.
so those
I
are
got
sort of
one.
thing you could
Other
also
association
get.
is blank now. Why I filled that out?
What's wrong?
I'd filled out the new association, and now it's blank. I don't know why. On my sheet.
For Marquita Roo.
Yeah, Marquita Roo. So okay, I just typed it back in again.
Did you click out of it? Sometimes if you don't click out of the field and you close it, it doesn't fill in.
Yeah,
Fake.
I mean maybe that's what happened. I don't know.
Yeah, mine's still there.
Tell me if it happens again. It shouldn't. It's a pretty standard thing.
Yeah, I don't know. My reactor has stayed at 3 at least. So that's
There you
good.
go. So yeah, you have to click out of fields a lot. There's a huge bug in all the Star Wars sheets on that can't be got away, because if you don't click out of a shield, it does different things. Okay, so there's other sorts of privilege. Let me just run over the different type of privileges you can get. You have your initial principal privilege, which is the port access across New Titan. That costs you 25. You have to get that. It's part of getting this contract.
You have to take that.
Okay, so and then you got different types of local permits at different locations. Now this makes a lot more sense if you're somewhere else. Like if you fly off to another planet in New Titan, you're going to be really happy because you're going to have this. And you might, who knows, you might need to go to another place. Then you can park for free and that sort of thing. So you're going to have access to all those ports, all the ports throughout the whole system. But if you wanted something like access to the fold gate or furlough access to areas that only citizens are allowed, or class rank, you want to get treated as a noble on a royal planet or something. If you want some membership to a special group or something, these all cost things. If you want to create a cover identity, if you want diplomatic immunity so you could like do things and just kind of get kicked off the planet. If you want secure moorage where you actually have like the ships locked down and guarded by the local security more than just the basic, hey, the ship's parked here and we don't let people just wander around. And if you want dry docks other places than here. Right now you're at your home port. But if you go to the down port or other places in the system, you may want some of these things. Next sorts of things you can get is local credits. For 50 residual value, you can get 1 die association called local credit at any of the locations. So other planets in New Titan, other systems, that sort of thing, you might want that.
Seems like a good idea.
You would have to get it per, and you're not really sure where you're going, so you can negotiate those on the fly. You can add those later. That basically means like if you want a hotel room or rent a car or do vehicle or any of that sort of stuff, you just kind of, you can either just do it because you have local credits, or you can roll an economy commerce task to perform it. And it works just like an association. But if you have the money, you can roll commerce tasks. You might not be able to roll that as easily if you don't have any money at all. Depending on where you are and what's being used for money and that sort of thing. And then the final thing on the list is network contacts. If you want to know somebody in a place and you want to buy them in advance, you can get them. Like I want to cut out in the Seekers or something. And it usually has to be something in the network of whoever's setting up that part of the contract. So in this case, it'd be XMI. So if you want to have access to like the chief of security of one of the cities, or even the city you just came from, that would be where you'd buy it.
Right.
And then,
if when he was gathering info, the word was that like, oh, we're super close, we're going to wrap this up, we would probably be more interested in like having a contact so we could get info on their investigation.
Totally.
That's kind of why we want to gather that info before we do this final negotiation part, right? Because
yeah, I mean, you've got most of the information you're going to get. You just have pretty much your final negotiation, however you're planning on doing that. You might get some info out of that, and then you're going to be let loose. So I'm just trying to go over all the different things you have, because you don't have this sheet, so you can't just look. On the trade side, it costs 1 point to get this. So we also have this. This costs a point. Let me just put the point down there. Sorry, you were saying?
I was just going to say, just because I think I maybe have used Roll20 a lot more than you. Like, these kind of lists are great things to put as handouts.
The problem is you can't fill out a handout. Oh, the list of the stuff.
Yeah, just like a list of something you could just like copy and paste it, make it a handout in Roll20.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if it's annoying me adding those things, or if that's helpful.
I'm going to update the PDF probably with this section, but there's some of the parts of it that need work. That's why I haven't done it. Okay, sure. So things you can get through the trade article. It doesn't cost you extra points to put anything in here to trade with Zumi, Musk, IG. So you can buy things like complex materials. This is used to repair your armor, upgrade your ship, repair your ship, heal your characters, all that stuff.
Buy armor?
So this doesn't cost... I don't understand.
This doesn't cost an extra RV because you've started your open trade with Zumi, Musk, IG. You've already paid the reserve for that. But each of these costs a certain amount of RV. So 1 unit of complex materials is 10 RV. So say you wanted 20 complex materials, it would cost you 200 RV.
Might be a good idea.
Supply.
Do we have any?
You have 20 right now.
We have 20 of that right now. And how much does it take to, say, repair my armor?
It's the most commonly asked question in the game.
Right on the
what does that actually mean?
If you would stop damaging our armor, we wouldn't have to ask.
If you could roleplay better and roll those dice so you didn't get hurt, then it wouldn't be a problem.
Burn.
So that's in the maintenance. It's a type of maintenance vignette. It costs 2 complex material or 20 RV to repair an armor slot. By the way, a patch costs 70 to repair. So if you patch your armor and then repair it, it's way more expensive.
Wow.
But that would be like in the middle, like out in the field,
yes.
Emergency type.
So your mechanic there would put a patch on your armor, or depending on what type, or perhaps on a ship's resilience slot. And that would be really expensive. But if it's your vitality slot that you're repairing, it's actually cheaper. Because you're basically saving somebody's life. It's almost as expensive as integrity, which costs 6 complex materials.
So,
and then on the ship, it's very similar, slightly different numbers.
Yeah.
So it costs you 2 complex materials to repair armor. It costs you more to do advancement, obviously. Do you want to see the pic? I could probably upload a snip real quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep all these numbers in my head. So to repair the armor would be 2 complex materials or 10 RV?
Yeah, I put the RV amount to make it easy to understand what the complex materials meant. I will show you the chart. Here, me 2.5 seconds.
And is that the same 5 for 1? That's always the conversion between...
What are you talking about?
One complex material costs 5 RV.
10. It's a 1 to 10. Easy.
So, but then you said, but to repair armor, you can use either RV or complex materials?
No, you use complex material. I just put the cost of the complex material in the chart.
So if it costs... Now, so I'm confused. If it's 10 to 1, then shouldn't it cost 20 RV to repair, not 10?
That's what I said. 20.
I thought you said 10. I don't know.
I will show you the chart if you would just wait half a second. So impatient. I know. It's hard playing a game that isn't published
He
yet.
doesn't have to be patient. When he asks for something, he expects to get it.
You'll get it all right. Right in the butt. Okay, desktop. Oh, come on, you piece of junk mouse. There, you guys are on this page, right?
Yes.
There you go. That is your repair costs. Right there.
Where am I looking?
Roll 20.
And roll 20, man.
I'm looking at roll 20. Oh, it's on the side. I had not put mine on full screen.
And if you want to know how much it costs to upgrade things, I can give you a snip of that too.
So, like at the end of the mission, when we get paid,
You don't really get paid at the end of the mission. At the end of the mission, you can kind of get paid whenever you want, but if you come out negative, you owe them
Yeah.
cargo. So if you want some complex materials right now and you put it down in here, you get the complex materials. You just check it off that you sign that out, because this is a live contract that moves as you do it, right?
right?
So if you add more trade, you might do something like buy some trade goods, and then before the mission's over, trade in those goods for other trade goods, and so on and so forth, until you have a greater RV.
Like me some RV.
So it's like kind of our pay and kind of our working expenses at the same time.
Yeah, it's a combination. It's like money.
Yep. Okay. So we don't need to work out any complex materials we need right now unless we want to actually use them right now.
Yes. If you want to get them later, you can pretty much just call up and get them.
Right.
There you go. So that's advancement costs. Okay, and so you know the actual cost of what you're getting. Each point you put into an objective gets you paid 100 RV. Each point you put into a restriction on an on the principal task also gets you 100 RV if you do that. And then bounties are a little bit more complex. You get a bonus number based on how many you put in. So you get a bonus 10 for 2 points of reserve, 20, 3 is 20, that sort of up. So if you put 1 point in, you get the base cost, whatever it is. So if you're looking for samples, a poor sample is going to get you 10 RV. If you're looking for unique samples, they'll get you 175. And then you get a bonus depending on how many RV you spent. So it's like a bonus system. And then fugitives, which is what yours is, it depends on how well connected they are, how important the fugitives are. So so on your thing right here, you can increase. You'll be putting at least 1 point in if you want to do the capture terrorist suspects part. And then if you do that, then you will you'll get paid for however many you collect. So if they're poor quality fugitives, like they're a nobody without influence, they're worth 30, or if they're leadership with important allies, they're worth 150 each. And you can increase that up to 40 RV for spending up to 5. So if you collect a bunch of dudes, you can make way more money with bounties, but you're risking the fact that you might not make as much money as if you just did objectives. So that's the balance beam there.
Since this is a one-shot, just kill them all. I don't know.
It's not a one-shot. Well, you another contract after this, unless you're hating it that much already.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So anyways, we can also add other things if you guys have some other ideas of places that you would look, or... so they have a discover location of terrorist base. They want that location, the capturing the suspects, gathering from the terrorist sites. Now you can be like, hey, that's too much, and substitute this term with a different term, and have each site specified individually. Because you can be like, hey, that's doing too many things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Is it too many things?
It is too many things. It's simple.
So I'm going to change this one. I think I made it too broad anyways. I'm going to say initial terrorist site, and if you want to do other terrorist sites, you can add that. Let's just do that, because then it's easier on. If I put enough eyes in initial. There we go. Initial's got all the eyes. This word's without eyes, and initial takes like all of them. So that's basically means going back to the place and actually gathering evidence from the place where you saw the train bombing. But you know there's other bombings, so if you want to add the other locations, you can add them individually.
Right.
Right.
So, what do we want to do? Let's spend these 9 points. And then roll and get some more points and spend those points.
What are we doing, guys? Can't go wrong, right? I mean, come on.
So have we already spent some of the 9 on the privileges and the trade article?
Yeah, 3 of them are already gone for that. Because you asked for the local bounty hunter permit.
Mm-hmm.
You spent 1 point for that. So you spent 3 out of the 9. You have 6 left, but you also have 1 more task. So if you want to just get down to brass tacks and roll some economy and do some numbers with her, you can do that. If you want to wine and dine her and try to break that exterior that she's giving you. She's basically sitting there. She's a very severe-looking Chinese woman of indeterminate age and sitting at a floating desk and an empty desk in an empty room.
It's not looking super wine and dineable.
What, dude? Challenge.
It all depends on how charming you are.
Right. And how she feels about tentacles.
Dude.
Yeah. This is all we're talking about. It's not some human.
She's Asian. Okay, sorry, I won't go there.
Dude.
So so known fact.
So I'm 1 second. I'm looking for the ban button in Roll20.
Yeah, right. All right, I retract my statement.
Cool. Okay, so what do you want to do, man? Do you want to do your test first?
You
just didn't say anything to her, so you have to we have to set the scene here, and let's do this.
Yeah, I guess we might as well know how many points we have.
Well, you're likely to end up with 12 unless you roll really good.
That's true.
You can roll really good and get way more. If you roll 6 successes, you can get 6 more points. Make some big money.
Awesome.
I don't know if I have anything that can give me that many dice. You
just have to roll 10s.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Nobody's rolled a 10 yet tonight, so probably gonna roll some.
Yeah,
Right.
it's some that
Odds
we've
are.
been waiting for. Yeah, I don't see any 10s actually.
Mm-mm.
Okay. What do you think, Brian? Talk to me, man.
I think that I think we need to be well paid for this because we were chartered for exploration. We already have captured one of them, and we should be compensated for my damaged armor that
That's right.
needs to be repaired.
It was his favorite armor.
That's my captain. Go.
I'm just
She
trying to drive as hard a bargain as I can.
She glances over at you and rolls her eye. You signed the commission. You have everything you need. As for this, investigation, exploration, they're similar. They're very similar. But I understand this may go a little bit further ahead. Anyways, why don't you roll to see how well you can persuade her that you should get a little bit more of the monies.
And threat dice.
3.
Tell her we need ship enhancements.
Wow, you're bad at role-playing games. Look at that. Oh.
Electronic, you suck at electronic dice.
You sunk a battleship, I think.
It was going too easy. I wanted to, we need
Challenge.
Yeah, it would be interesting if
Okay. So, that's -1.
So that's one die in there. Do we want to put any more dice in there? How many are in there already? We put
all the dice in there.
5.
I put 1 in there.
There are 5 dice in there.
5 in there?
Because right now you're basically muttering hard ass bitch under your breath.
She
resting bitch face.
Pretty much my my blank expression is very, very she's exactly how I described. She's giving you no shit. She's like, get out there and do your job.
Yeah.
It's your
we
job.
are under no You captured that terrorist of your own free will. We didn't agree to pay for that. Totally.
Pretty much, she's like, well,
it's not my problem.
Included in on the capture terror suspects term on the first clause of the obligation article, if you wish. I would not hold that against you, but that's not going to get you any extra. So are you putting any more money, more points in the reserve? And any more in the cup?
It's such a crazy, evil sound.
What, this one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard to make these decisions. 9 reserve, that seems like a good amount, but...
Okay, do you know what it...
I don't know.
Well, 9 reserve, you have 6 left. If you put it, say, all on gather evidence, you can't put that much on. You can only put up to 5. But if you put 5 there, and then 1 on discover the terrorist base, if you do a really good job and examine that one place and get all the info, you would get 500 RV. But you might want to spread it around and have some other locations on there so you actually get the information you need to find the terrorist base.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And get paid for all of those other investigations you're going to have to do either way. So I would suggest you add other locations.
We definitely need...
I can give you other locations and say you found them as part of your other research.
I mean, just like coffee shop recruitment.
Okay, so there's a mine that I did mention earlier that everyone's trapped at. There was an explosion there at their train station.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know a lot about it. There was, and that's over on another nearby island. Everything's an island. There are a couple in on, there's a couple on other planets. Because there's like 2 habitable planets in the system. There's this planet, which
Let's check them all out.
and there, which I haven't named. I was just calling it New Titan on New Titan.
New Titan City.
And then there's actually one that's in an underwater facility. There was an explosion down there. They don't know a lot what happened because their communications have been knocked out.
Bummer.
It's a mine, so most of the people don't have links. And there seems to be some just like it's jammed for some reason. Like this, it's a mine where they mine a lot of dangerous materials. So.
Can our launch go underwater?
Yes.
Is it a sub
for a
in
distance.
addition to everything else?
Yeah. Your ship can for sure. You're launched to a certain degree. You'd be basically rolling shields after a certain depth. So, yeah, you got the underwater facility. It's actually a research facility I was mixing up with the mine. There's a mine, which is it's not like a heavy metal mine or something. It's it's actually a mine for a type of unique material you don't really know anything about. You'd have to do some research on it. And
I did the research in a flashback.
you can do that on the fly, man. And there's another. There's a couple other. There's another tourist town and there's the tourist town you started at, the mine, and the underwater place. There's those 3, and plus one of the moons of New Titan and the other planet. There was only one there at their main space elevator.
Are we deciding what to hit first, or just to add them to the contract?
Do you want to add each of those individually? Do you want to add a couple of them?
I think that makes sense, because then it's not a all or nothing kind of thing.
Zatala wants to visit as many of these as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm less interested in the capturing terrorist suspects. So we could skip that, not get the bounty hunter permit, and then just investigate all these places.
Yeah. And then they can send in the heavy hitters if they want. They'll have more info from what we report. Makes sense to me, but she might not go for it, especially if you roll shit again.
No, this is kind of open to you guys, so.
Yeah, I think we earned the amount of reserve points that we did, and then we kind of get to pick this with those points.
Okay, so she wants the discover location of terrorist base to be included for sure on the new one. She's not going to budge on that.
Yeah, no, I want that one too.
Okay, so what you're doing is basically making a substitute clause because you don't want this other one, because you have to ratify everything within a clause. So you're going to ratify this new clause, and then I'm going to label each of these terrorist sites. And it's from
optional clauses, like the capture terrorist suspect,
you don't have to do them all.
Right, so if we leave,
but you only get paid for the ones you do.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And we don't want to spend reserve on things that we end up not doing if we can avoid it.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is, if we leave the capture terrorist suspects in there,
yes, you could do that too.
Then we, if we happen to capture somebody, then
but you do have to put at least 1 point on every term in a clause.
We'd have to spend a point of reserve on it, and then we also need to pay for the bounty hunter permit.
Oh, we do?
So we could...
It's already in the original one. We're not altering it.
Yes, if you're just putting these other things in this, then But you would have to spend for every term. That's how
Oh.
obligations work. You have to put 1 point in each term at least, and then every point you put more increases the amount you get paid.
Mm.
So if you said you can put up to 5 points into
To each term.
each term,
Not clause. Clause is the full one.
right?
What,
So
what-
if say we put 5 points into gather evidence from the beach site, to then actually earn that amount of pay, we would need to get a more impressive amount of information out of that site. Is that
No, you just have to go there and you're going to get paid that. But if you don't discover the location of terrorist base, you're going to be, from that point, you're going to have to do a bunch of research you're basically not getting paid for. So if you're going to go to every single location and find out what you can. Also, yes, if it doesn't seem like it's enough for what you're getting paid, they might not consider it done. Because it's kind of open-ended. That's the problem with like gather information. Like, how much information do you need? So they might like, well, you didn't finish it. That you didn't find anything useful, and you're like, well.
But the amount of points that we put into it doesn't affect the amount of information required for it to be considered done, or does it?
A little bit. It's
So kind of okay.
it does, but there's no like cut and dry. You need 5
Yeah,
clues
it's
kind of
subjective,
thing.
but it's
So pretty much, there's an investigation project. You have to succeed in a investigation project that has a few tasks in it, and you actually put a bunch into it and find some useful information that leads you somewhere and that they can use. You need actionable intel. That's what they're looking for. I should have written that down. Perhaps I didn't write this as well. Still writing guidelines on how to write these. Okay, so you wanted the beach terrace site because you've already been there. The underwater research site and the temple mine we also talked about. And the moon.
sure.
I'm just putting them all down. You can tell me which ones you actually want on here. And then finally, we have the other space elevator. Okay, so we're going to do it this way, and I'm going to get rid of the word terrorist site. And I'll put that up here because it's confusing.
So if we keep all of them, then we basically and if we keep all of them and we don't take any more of those dice for extra reserve, then we basically have 1 point on each.
Yes.
Does that sound about right to everybody? Should we try to get 3 more dice and put them somewhere? Do we not want to go to all of these?
Well, there's one that's on a completely different planet. It'd be a lot faster not to go to a different planet. But if they turn out to be on that planet, you might have to go to that planet anyways. And beach. And you've already been to the beach, so you could leave the beach off, considering it to be well enough explored. But of course...
Yeah.
So anyways, so you got these ones and this. Those are all the possible locations you could do. It's a whole new obligation article that you'd be putting into this. And so what we would do is this sort of thing. You would put one... in all the things you want to do. And then that would get you 100 per thing. So you're right, it might be more efficient just to do 3 of them. Where do you want to go?
Yeah, so like this setup would kind of be the maximum hedging of bets.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Just go to everything, have them all pay out evenly, and if some of them end up being dead ends, oh well. Or we could put our eggs in fewer baskets.
Yes.
And
you're
save,
right.
Save
you have
basket checking time.
For gather information, you do need to find more information to really be considered done if you put more points into it.
Yeah, it kind of...
And this doesn't require us to capture anybody. So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
that's good.
Yeah, good point.
Yes, so if you want to get rid of this, you can. So, what do you think?
I trust the captain has made a good deal.
Yeah, I say go with it.
Do you want the extra points to get extra money? It's 300 RV that you're going to get. Especially because you're not doing any of the bounties. It's going to be 300 RV.
So
Extra for putting 3 dice in this bowl. Brian, I think they're looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Zatul's call, I think.
Yeah.
I think Audi, with his greed, would probably want to push for more.
So you're having this discussion? Pretty much
Yeah, you
like,
have it.
oh, I can push her, but it's going to cost us. I think it's going to cost us somehow if I give her a push. You can tell me how you push her if you decide to do it. What does Audi say when
The
he's
way you-
saying that?
With the way you've been treating her, the way she's responding, I say no.
Okay, we're leaving it in an
So
Audi.
this-
Okay, do you want to go to
Oh,
all
wait a
these
minute.
places?
If we're not doing the... If we're not capturing suspects,
There you
and we're
go.
getting... So then we have one more point of...
Well, we could identify suspects instead of capture. We could identify them.
Well, or we could just put one more point into one of these...
Yeah, or you can remove some of these points and make these points bigger. Do you want to go to the space elevator on a different planet? Do you want to go back to the beach? Do you want to go to the temple mine?
I definitely want to go to the underwater research facility and the temple mine, because
Okay.
they sound
Oh.
interesting.
Let's look at what it would look like if you put 2 points in those.
Mm-hmm.
So you could
And
You
then
could take
maybe
3.
get rid of the...
get rid of the space elevator? Or the moon? Or the beach?
Let's get rid of the beach, because
Yeah.
the moon or the space elevator, those could be where their base is located. Could be near there anyway. So we might have to go there anyway. But the beach is not there. Their hidden base is not at the beach, I don't think.
That's where my hidden base would be.
So
That is 9
Okay.
points right there if you do exactly that. Or you could increase some of the values. It's up to you guys.
That's a good. I think it's good.
seems good.
Should we put more into discover location of terrorist base? That seems important.
It is kind of an end thing that you definitely do.
So it would just be a matter of, do we want to
Do you want the extra
Add
points? Extra
add more dice to the cup for
So that we could get more money from discover.
more out of the base? How about just 2 more?
Ah, no.
Okay, so I'm increasing this
excitement.
to 11. The excitement of Excel worksheets! Okay, you're spending all the money, which is fine.
Okay.
But if you didn't spend all your money, all your reserve, you would be able to keep it for like, hey, we're gonna probably make another deal, and then if I don't roll super awesome, because like if I just make a trade deal and only get to roll once, I would get the extra point then. I'm just telling you how it works for the future. I think it's perfectly fine to do this. It's just sometimes people like to hold the points. So you're not doing this stuff. Instead, you put forth this new idea where you're going everywhere in the universe, and examining every individual site and finding their terrorist base. She's pretty happy with that. She's like, he knows what they can do and what they want. Excellent.
That's funny.
And I believe this is a ratified term. So I'm gonna fill out some numbers here so you guys can see all your bling, all your casholas.
I need that bread.
Yep.
Ooh, red. I like red.
Bread is good.
Yeah. All right.
Everybody likes bread.
Uh-huh.
So, if you successfully do all the things on this list, you will get this amount of residual value.
Oh, we're gonna do it.
So you can, and then you'll also be adding stuff to here. So you do need this access to all ports on Titan because you're planning on going to the moon and other space elevators and the underwater research base and these places that are far away. So that's usually the case. Cool. Okay, there's your contract.
Nice. What do they give us for that? Is it some sort of like identification, or is it just electronic?
No,
or...
you don't tell people about the contracts you did. Oh, and by the way, you notice the 300 RV up here? That's just for signing. That's your signing bonus.
All right.
So you have a total of 1175, if my random math is quick.
Nice.
Which is pretty good.
Might be able to find somewhere we can make a little on the side off the books, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it would be right on the book. You just add it right here to the trade article and buy it and then sell it later.
Yeah.
You could also steal stuff and then just trade it in.
That's what I'm talking about.
There you go. Okay. That's all about balancing accounts at the end. Cool. You guys go in advanced stuff
So
with
solid.
reserves. Okay, cool. So what do you want to do first? So she finishes up. She has a conversation. It goes okay. Because, I don't know, she's cold as ice and you're not exactly Shakespeare. But she's impressed that you understood what your crew is good at and basically proposed an entirely new obligation set. So she's like, hey, yeah, that's cool. You know what you're up to. You don't want to go bounty hunting. That's fine. We have people to do that sort of thing. And she basically stops talking to you. And you take that probably as a, hey, I should leave. Now.
She doesn't push a button and it ejects him out of the room.
No, she just ignores him.
Okay. Cold.
Well, she's an executive at XMI and she's a busy girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's first?
Yeah.
It is 9:30. We've again managed to run ourselves right to the end.
So good, though. It's a good thing. Look, we got it all set up.
So we're set up. We're running. I will remove this red stuff next time you guys need to add an obligation article. You can. So we'll move everything up. Cool. But so the question is, perhaps we should fix your armor, and we can learn how that works, and then we'll go do exciting adventure things next week.
Cool.
Because I think you'll be like, but I wanted to fix my armor first, right?
Yeah.
People like having armor. It's a thing.
When you're doing the exciting adventure thing,
yeah,
it's not a bad idea to have your armor working.
Yeah, let's get that done today, and then
I want armor still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you can get armor now.
Yeah, let's get armor.
Can I get armor?
Yeah. Body
technically,
armor.
you can buy a body armor advancement.
Okay, I want that.
Costs you
Just
30 RV. So it costs you
Fine.
30 complex materials.
Whatever. I throw it on.
And that's
But then
300 RV that you would be spending out of everybody's profits right now.
Damn, dude. I'll go naked into battle.
And then basically the things that aren't your starting equipment cost upkeep, it looks like.
Yes, it increases your upkeep. So when if you add that body armor, it will increase your upkeep by 3. And then every time you repair and do maintenance, it costs you 3 more upkeep.
Oh shit, dude! I'm just gonna stay at the back like the wizard.
That's just the thing. Like, say you add an augment to your character, so you can breathe underwater. You can do that too.
Nope, I'm sticking with it. Repair your body armor, dude. Do it.
Skill specialties can be added as well. Up to 6 per skill. Anyways, okay, so what we do is you basically pay the materials and then you fix the armor. It's really easy. You need to have, clear armor, you need to have a mech lab. You have one on your ship. So pretty much you go back to your ship.
Needs my help, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah, and then we have a scene where you're all like fixing your armor. Whoever's the mechanic fixes your armor.
I got my shirt off while I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You filthy human.
Yeah, doesn't make any difference to you guys.
Gross.
It's weird because he's skinnier than you and you're an octopus. Not.
Yeah. It's hot in here. I don't care.
I get Paul in his race. Those make sense to me.
Nah.
Okay, so.
All good.
Okay, so to do this, do you want to buy some more complex material right now, just for this sort of thing?
Yes.
I mean, we have it.
You have 20 right now, and it's not a big deal as long as you're in town, right? Like we can just right now go, okay, it costs you 30 RV and 3, and do this. Complex materials.
Take the welder and cut off a panel on the station or something. Take it back.
Oh, that would be a patch.
Patch. Oh yeah.
Which is more expensive to fix in the end properly.
Yeah,
not if we take it.
Yeah, so like what we have like on board, yeah, okay. Maybe we don't want to. We want a certain amount around for whatever comes up, so that we can use it for.
Yeah, but you need to fix your armor though.
No, I know. So I'm saying so, but instead of the 20 that we have on ship, maybe that's about. I don't know. Is that about the right amount?
You need
that's a nice round number.
Out and about to have on hand.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So what supply is used for is, say you want to make a bomb. I've learned that players like making bombs. I don't know why. It's one of those things. You can do a fabrication project and make a bomb, and you can substitute. You can find materials as one of your tasks to make that bomb. Or you can use supply, or you can do both. And you need a certain amount of supply for most fabrication tasks. Online tasks are slightly different because you don't need as much unless you're making a small device to put it in. But that means you just need a small piece of hyperdiamond. But then that's a certain amount of supply you spend. Complex material you don't normally use that way. It's used for repairs and advancement. And then the final type of material... final type of thing that you would use for anything like this are assets, and they're special things. Like, say you get the Kazuvian flu, and you mark the pathogen on your thing, you're likely to need a special asset to cure it, which you might have to go on a big adventure to get, or you might have to go to a space station to get, and then you buy that one, and then you do the fabrication project to make the medicine to cure yourself. So this is the sort of thing you use supply for, and then complex materials are used for for advancement and maintenance. So that's why you get 20 to start with, to do different things with. Also, supply is used for all the modules on your ship. So if you look at your ship sheet, you will see different prices. So if you have more than 6 people on board your ship, it costs 1 to supply to support a person every day. 1 person per day. So if you have 7 people and it takes 2 days to get across the system, that's going to cost you 2 supply. If you have 75 slaves in your hold that you decided to smuggle because you're an asshole, it's going to cost you 70.
We're rescuing them.
It's going to cost you like 75 minus however many into the 6 you don't have, right?
Not worth it.
And then so your EVA suits, well, that's 75 times 5 is how many RV it's going to cost you. And then for the fittings for your EVA suits, if you buy these, you basically get them for the entire like period of time that you're using that EVA suit. It's usually a little more than a scene. So if you like get out of your ship in an underwater base and go floating around outside and you need a pressure shell, that's going to cost you 1 to add that fitting to everybody on the crew's suit. So that's 1 supply. That's what you use supply for. All these fittings for your internal security, if you want to lock down the ship or use scatter spores or indictor foam or something, that's going to cost you. If you have missile, your launcher equipped, which you guys do not have one, every time you shoot a torpedo, it costs you 9 supply. Which is 9 times 5. What? 45? 45 RV to shoot someone.
So don't miss.
And say you got a brig because you decided to do this. If you bought restraints, it costs you 1 supply, but secure a prisoner per day is slightly longer. These charts are fucked. I have to fix them. I don't know why they're all over the place. Anyways, so that's what supply is kind of used for. And so you have 20 supply, 20 complex materials. If you just want to buy 10 complex materials right now so that you can refair your armor and still have more, we can totally do that. You want that?
Yes.
Okay. So 10 complex materials. And then we're going to mark that as 100 RV.
Okay. So then that goes to 28.
Negative 100 RV. And now you have, yes, 28 RV, and your armor's fixed. So you can fix your armor. The other thing that you fix with that same stuff is like your launch's armor. Oh, 27. It costs 3 complex materials. Oh no, that's the ship. Sorry, you're right. Crew. Yeah. The crew one's also for the launch. Uses the same armor plating.
Oh, okay.
Because it's basically by scale.
Right.
Okay, so I left supply on there. We can add that when you guys decide you need to buy some supply. If not, it'll just stay at 0. There you go. Cool. Your armor is fixed. You're all ready to go. Where do you guys want to go first? Just tell me so I can prep that the best for next week.
What are our options? The mines or the underwater?
Or the moon,
Facility?
or a space elevator on another planet.
Ah.
You put more money into underwater research facility and the temple mine.
What do you think, Captain?
Which is going to be more time sensitive? Which is
You have no idea.
I mean, that's
The
we're
facility is
guessing.
completely cut off because it's underwater. They have a hard time contacting it because of the materials. The temple's also difficult to contact because of the materials being mined there. The moon is in pretty easy contact, but it still needs to be investigated.
I mean, we should definitely start with one of the 2 that we invested more in.
Yes.
And
Because when they blow up entirely, it's slightly harder to investigate.
Yeah. I mean, the other 2, the last 2, presumably if we don't finish those, they could send some, it'd be easy for them to find somebody to do those jobs.
Or you're just not going to get paid 100 RV, man. Like,
right, yeah.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, we're going to just
that.
nail it right off the bat and figure out where the terrorist base is at the first one we investigate. So,
Yeah.
maybe. Cool. So it sounds like you're going underwater or to the temple.
Underwater or mine?
Well, you sounded really excited about the underwater one. Why don't we?
Let's go underwater. Under
Okay.
the sea. Under the sea.
Nudeeb would vote Temple Mine, like from a personal point of view, but that's because he's from an underground kind of species. So,
I'm okay with either one. So, I mean, if that's enough to break the tie, I would go with that. But
Okay.
Mine sounds
sounded excited about underwater though. So
they both sound cool. So
I will go make some dragons up for the dungeon, and we'll be good.
Cool.
Okay, guys. We don't
Sweet.
really have enough time to start any of those things. Is there any
No.
questions you have? Are you confused about the entire game yet, or just parts of it?
A bit, not too much.
So these are projects. Projects you can't really fail. Let's tell you that. So you just did this, right? Because you were dealing with this patron, who's your patron commissionaire, I just put stuff in this bowl. If you were dealing with, say, a black marketeer, instead of putting it in the bowl, I could have used some of these dice from the bowl to elevate it to 3 points and then had you deal with them trying to mug you. Or the terrible people in that neighborhood trying to kill you and take your shit. That sort of thing. So what happens to a project is it gets interrupted by encounters. But you can't fail the project because you can always compensate for your failures. So if you got a -2, you could get upgraded, you get a -3, bad things would happen, and then you'd have like some sort of encounter and deal with that, and then move on and finish the project.
Cool.
So say you're doing a fabrication, which is about building something to fix an air thing or something. You might end up in a bunch of combats in the middle of that because you're being attacked that whole time or something. So that's kind of how projects work. They're the advanced mechanic in it. So like in Dungeons & Dragons, the advanced mechanic is combat. In this game, it's projects.
Mm-hmm.
So negotiation, all these sorts of things. So a little more complex than the normal encounter. So travel is one, fabrication, negotiation, a couple others.
Cool.
So just so it made sense what we were doing today, because it was really a project-centered day, and I didn't really explain projects. I just tried to run it naturally and failed slightly. But I'm not going to have camera issues next week. We're going to use Hangouts again, and we're just going to save this.
This seemed to work fine.
This is working.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're welcome for the suggestion.
It's a good suggestion. Okay, guys. See you guys next week. Has anybody got a problem next Monday? Next Monday's, I don't think, a holiday or anything.
What's the date?